Princess Rose and the Creature. There was once a beautiful princess named Rose. Her mother, the queen, however, was not as beautiful as the princess. The queen felt bad that she was not the most beautiful woman in the kingdom anymore. She was tired of competing with her daughter. She made a decision. She prepared a drink for the princess. After the princess drank it, she fell asleep. Then the queen took the princess to the forest. She left the princess there. It was a very serious thing to do. Either she will be killed by animals or she will get lost in the forest, the queen thought. The princess had a dream. She dreamed about a man with brown hair and brown eyes. It was the man she would wed. The princess woke up. She saw a strange creature on the ground. It looked like a man, but he was hairy and green. He had horns on his head and a pig's nose. The creature said, "Did I scare you? I hope not. Let me introduce myself. I am Henry." "I am not scared. To tell you the truth, I think you are cute," said Rose. Rose and Henry spent the day together. They collected berries, caught fish, and had lunch. They had a very good day filled with nice conversations.
"Rose, I have to go home," said Henry. "My ship will sail home soon. I can't leave you here in the forest alone. Will you come with me?"
Rose was very happy. She gave Henry a kiss right on his pig nose. As soon as she kissed Henry, he began to change. His pig nose turned into a man's nose. His horns and green hair went away. Standing in front of her was the man Rose had dreamt about. Rose and Henry were married, and they lived happily.
Unit 12. Word list. Alone. If someone is alone, they are not with another person.
The boy wanted to be alone to think.
Apartment. An apartment is a set of rooms in a building where people live.
She has a nice apartment in the city.
Article. An article is a story in a newspaper or magazine.
Did you read the article in the newspaper about the soccer game?
Artist. An artist is a person who paints, draws, or makes sculptures.
He went to Paris to become an artist.
Attitude. Someone's attitude is the way they feel and think.
John has a bad attitude. He's always angry.
Compare. To compare means to say how two things are the same and different.
If you compare cats and dogs, you'll see that they're both good pets.
Judge. To judge something is to say if it is good or bad.
The boy was going to judge how his mother's turkey tasted.
Magazine. A magazine is a regular publication with news, stories, and articles.
She likes to read fashion magazines.
Material. A material is what is used to make something.
Brick is a good material for building houses.
Meal. A meal is a time when food is eaten, like breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Breakfast is my favorite meal because I enjoy breakfast foods.
Method. A method is the way to do something.
One method to remember things is to tie a string around your finger.
Neighbor. A neighbor is a person who lives near you.
I like my neighbor because he's very friendly.
Professional. If something is professional, it deals with work that uses special skills.
If you want to be a pilot, you must have professional training.
Profit. A profit is the extra money you make when you sell something.
I made a small profit from selling my old clothes.
Quality. The quality of something is how good it is.
The quality of his car is very good.
Shape. A shape is a simple form like a square or circle.
The triangle is my favorite shape.
Space. A space is an empty area.
I don't have much space for things in my small house.
Stair. Stairs are the things that are used to go up in a building.
You can take the stairs to the second floor.
Symbol. A symbol is a thing that stands for something else.
This symbol tells us that we cannot smoke in this area.
Thin. If someone or something is thin, they are not fat.
The man was thin because he didn't eat much.
The crazy artist. Fraunhofer was the best artist in the world. Everyone loved him. The quality of his paintings was very high. He always used the best materials. He made a big profit from his paintings. He had delicious meals with his rich neighbors. He taught art classes. Life was good. Then his attitude changed. He stopped selling paintings and teaching. He tried a new method of painting. He stayed alone in his apartment all day. He worked all day and all night, rarely eating. Soon Fraunhofer became very thin, but he kept working on the same paintings for many years. He worked as hard as he could. Finally, he finished the painting. He was very happy and invited other artists to see it. "I want your professional opinion," he said. He wanted them to judge it and compare it to other paintings. Everyone was very excited as they went up the stairs to his apartment. Fraunhofer was excited to show his painting, and the artists were excited to see it. "They'll love it," he thought. But they did not. They were surprised by his painting. There was no white anywhere. Fraunhofer filled the whole painting with lines and colors. There was no space for a normal picture. It was full of strange shapes. It looked bad to the other artists. He used symbols, and they didn't understand them. They thought it was terrible. "Why did you paint this strange picture?" someone asked. They didn't understand its beauty. But after some time, many people began to like his painting. People wrote articles about it in magazines. They said it was his best work. They loved his strange symbols. They loved his strange colors. Fraunhofer's painting reminded everyone that just because something was new didn't mean that it was bad. He also helped them to realize that sometimes it takes people a little time to understand great things. Unit 13. Word list. Blood. Blood is the red liquid in your body.
I cut my finger and got blood on my shirt.
Burn. To burn something is to set it on fire.
I burned some wood in the campfire.
Cell. A cell is a small room where a person is locked in.
The jail cell was very small.
Contain. To contain something is to have it inside.
The mailbox contained a letter.
Correct. To be correct is to be right.
All of my answers on the test were correct.
Crop. A crop is food that a farmer grows.
Wheat is a crop that is made into bread.
Demand. To demand something is to say strongly that you want it.
The workers demanded to be paid more money.
Equal. To be equal is to be the same.
Both students are equal in age.
Feed. To feed is to give food.
Mother feeds my baby brother every day.
Hole. A hole is an opening in something.
The man was going to jump into the hole in the ice.
Increase. To increase something is to make it larger or more.
They've increased the price of gas by 15 cents.
Lord. Long ago, A lord was a man in charge of a town.
The lord of the town was not kind.
Owe. To owe is to have to pay or give back something received from another.
I owed him $20, so I paid him back.
Position. A position is the way something is placed.
How can you sit in that position?
Raise. To raise something is to lift it up.
We had to work together to raise the last piece.
Responsible. If a person is responsible, they do the right things.
I tried to be responsible and save money.
Sight. A sight is something interesting to see.
I saw the pyramids of Egypt. What a sight!
Spot. A spot is a place where something happens.
The kitchen is a good spot to eat meals.
Structure. A structure is a building.
They just built a beautiful new structure downtown.
Whole. Whole means all of something.
I ate the whole pie. We don't have any more. The farmer and the cats. Arthur was a responsible farmer, and Maria was a nice lady. But they were poor. They owed the town lord money for their land. One summer, their farm burned. One structure caught fire, and most of the animals ran away. Only the cats stayed. So Arthur and Maria had to bring in their crops without an animal's help. On a fall day, the Lord demanded his money. Arthur asked if the Lord could wait until he brought in his crops. The Lord was angry. He raised his hands high and yelled, "Pay me by the end of the week. If you don't, I will increase the money you have to pay. I might put you in a jail cell." So Arthur and Maria worked until there was blood on their hands. They finished 4 lines of corn and went to bed. But the next morning, 8 lines were finished. "Maria, didn't we stop in this spot here?" Arthur asked. "Yes, that is correct, and the tools were in a different position too," Maria said. They were surprised and happy. That day, they worked hard and finished 5 lines. But in the morning, 10 lines were done. Each day, they did a lot of work. Each night, someone else did an equal amount of work. In a week, the whole field was finished. "Tomorrow I will sell the crops and pay the Lord," Arthur said. But that morning, the crops were gone. A bag was in the middle of the field. It contained money. "Maria, let's see who has helped us work." Through a hole in the wall, they saw a funny sight. The cats were dancing in the field and eating corn. Now Arthur knew what had happened. The cats had worked at night. After that, Arthur was very nice to his cats and fed them lots of corn.
Unit 14. Word list. Coach. A coach is a person who teaches sports.
My coach gets very excited during games.
Control. To control something is to make it do what you want.
To control the TV, just push the buttons.
Description. A description of someone or something says what they are like.
I gave a description of the man with the gun and hat to the police.
Direct. If something is direct, it goes straight between 2 places.
The green path is a direct route to my house.
Exam. An exam is a test.
I did some practice questions for the math exam on the board.
Example. An example of something is a thing that is typical of it.
Cola is an example of a soft drink.
Limit. A limit is the largest or smallest amount of something that you allow.
My mother put a limit on how much I could use the phone.
Local. If something is local, it is nearby.
The local market in my neighborhood sells all the food we need.
Magical. Magical describes a quality that makes someone or something special.
The fireworks made the night sky look so magical.
Mail. Mail is letters and other things sent to people.
I get a lot of mail because I have friends all over the world.
Novel. A novel is a book that tells a story.
He wrote a great novel about ancient China.
Outline. An outline is the plan for a story or essay.
Before I wrote my essay, I made an outline.
Poet. A poet is a person who writes poems.
William Shakespeare was one of the greatest poets.
Print. To print something is to put it onto paper.
Make sure that you print your name clearly.
Scene. A scene is one part of a book or movie.
A movie is made up of many short pieces or scenes.
Sheet. A sheet is a thin, flat piece of paper.
I only needed a single sheet of paper to do my homework.
Silly. If someone or something is silly, they show a lack of thought.
I made a silly mistake of dropping Mom's vase.
Store. A store is a place where you can buy things.
I picked up a few things at the grocery store.
Suffer. To suffer is to feel pain.
Her headache made her suffer all day.
Technology. Technology is new things made by using science.
He loves technology, such as laptop computers.
A magical book. Sarah loved to read. She read novels and poems. She loved the beautiful descriptions and phrases. She loved reading work from poets and novelists. She didn't like video games or technology. She was on the basketball team, but she didn't like sports. Her parents made her play basketball. In fact, Sarah's parents made her do many things, but she didn't want to do those things. She just wanted to sit and read all day. One day, a small book came in the mail. It was for Sarah. The book looked very special. It was printed on sheets of gold. Sarah began to read. The outline of the story was simple. It was about a magical place. Strange things happened there. One example from the book was about a boy who could control people. In one scene, he made his friends tell funny jokes. Sarah loved the book. She read it all the time. Then something strange happened. The book gave Sarah a special power. She could control other people. She was like the boy in the book. During one exam, she made her friend tell silly jokes. Her friend got in trouble. After school, Sarah did not make a direct trip home. On the way, she went to the local store. She wanted to play more tricks on people. She caused problems. She made people fall down. She laughed and had fun. Finally, she left and started to walk home. Then she saw something. Her basketball coach was about to walk in front of a bus. He was looking the other way. She had to stop him. She used her power. She controlled him. She made him stop walking. Sarah learned something that day. It was better to help people than make them suffer. So she put a limit on how she used her power. She did not want to do bad things with it anymore. She only wanted to do good. Unit 15. Word list. Across. To go across something is to go to the other side of it.
He walked across the board to the other side.
Breathe. To breathe means to let air go in and out of your body.
We need strong, healthy lungs to help us breathe well.
Characteristic. A characteristic is something that shows what a person or a thing is like.
One characteristic of tigers is their black stripes.
Consume. To consume something means to eat or drink it.
Jack consumed a whole plate of spaghetti.
Excite. To excite someone means to make them happy and interested.
I heard about the school dance on Friday. This excited me.
Extreme. If something is extreme, it is in a large amount or degree.
His workout was so extreme that he was sweating heavily.
Fear. Fear is the feeling of being afraid.
I have a great fear of skateboarding.
Fortunate. If you are fortunate, you are lucky.
I was fortunate to get a seat.
Happen. If someone happens to do something, they do it by chance.
I happened to meet some new friends at school today.
Length. The length of something is how long it is from one end to the other.
The length of the floor is 3 meters.
Mistake. A mistake is something you do wrong.
My boss always yells at me when I make a mistake.
Observe. To observe something is to watch it.
Ryan observed the sun rising over the mountains.
Opportunity. An opportunity is a chance to do something.
I had an opportunity to take pictures in the jungle.
Prize. A prize is something of value that is given to the winner.
I won a prize for getting the best grade on my science test.
Race. A race is a contest to see who is the fastest.
Paul is a fast runner, so he easily won the race.
Realize. To realize is to suddenly understand.
After I left my house, I realized that I left the light on.
Respond. To respond is to give an answer to what someone else said.
When the teacher asked the question, we all responded.
Risk. A risk is a chance of something bad happening.
I took a risk and climbed the snowy mountain.
Wonder. To wonder is to ask yourself questions or have a need to know.
The young mother wondered if she'd have a boy or a girl.
Yet. Yet is used to say something has not happened up to now.
We can't go out yet. We're still eating. The big race. A dog saw a group of animals across the road. He walked over to meet them. "What are you doing?" he asked them. "I just sold them tickets to a race between the rabbit and the turtle," the duck responded. This news excited the dog. He felt fortunate that he happened to be there. "I don't have anything to do today," the dog said. "I want to buy a ticket too." The dog sat down to observe the race. The race would be extreme. It would be many kilometers in length. The rabbit and the turtle stood next to each other. They waited for the race to start. The dog wondered why the turtle agreed to run against the rabbit. Being fast was not a characteristic of turtles. The rabbit was going to win easily. Suddenly, the race began. The rabbit ran extremely quickly. The turtle walked slowly. After a minute, the rabbit looked back. He saw that the turtle was far behind him and was breathing quickly because he was so tired. The rabbit smiled and slowed to a walk. A minute later, the rabbit said, "I'm winning, so I'll take a rest." He sat and began to consume some grass. Then he let his eyes close. He wasn't the winner yet, but there was no risk of him losing the race. He went to sleep. Hours later, a loud sound woke him. All of the animals were yelling and looking at the field. He felt fear for the first time. The turtle was almost at the finish line. Now the rabbit realized his mistake, but the race was over. He gave the turtle an opportunity to win, and the turtle took it. The duck handed the turtle his prize. It was the happiest day of the turtle's life. The dog was happy for the turtle. He isn't fast, the dog thought, but he tried his best and did something great.
Unit 16. Word list. Academy. An academy is a special type of school.
There are many courses taught at the academy that I go to.
Ancient. If something is ancient, it is very old.
I want to see the ancient buildings in Rome.
Board. A board is a flat piece of wood.
The sign was made of a few wooden boards.
Century. A century is 100 years.
Our company is celebrating a century of business in London.
Clue. A clue is a fact or object that helps solve a mystery or crime.
The detective found some clues on the sidewalk.
Concert. A concert is an event where you listen to people play music.
I enjoyed the concert last night. The band was very good.
County. A county is the largest political division of a state in the U.S.
He wanted to represent the citizens of his county.
Dictionary. A dictionary is a book that tells you what words mean.
I used the dictionary to learn new words.
Exist. To exist is to be real.
Do you really think that unicorns ever existed?
Flat. Flat describes something that is level and smooth with no curved parts.
My parents bought a new flat-screen TV over the weekend.
Gentleman. A gentleman is a nice man.
My grandfather is a kind and helpful gentleman.
Hidden. Hidden means to be not easily noticed or too hard to find.
The hidden camera recorded everything in the parking lot.
Maybe. Maybe is used to show that something is possible or may be true.
If I focus hard enough, maybe I can come up with the right answer.
Officer. An officer is a leader in the army.
The soldiers followed the orders of the officer.
Original. If something is original, it is the first one of that thing.
This is the original painting of the Mona Lisa.
Pound. To pound something is to hit it many times with a lot of force.
He pounded the nail with the hammer.
Process. A process is the steps to take to do something.
Making a cake is a long process.
Publish. To publish a book is to get it printed and ready to sell.
That company publishes daily newspapers.
Theater. A theater is a building where you watch plays, shows, and movies.
We went to the theater to see a play.
Wealth. Wealth is a large amount of money.
One of the most important things to some people is wealth.
Adams County's gold. Adams Academy was a good school. Boys lived there and took classes. Tom worked hard all week. On a spring Saturday, he wanted to do something fun. He asked his friend Jeff to go to the movie theater. "Sorry," Jeff answered. "I'm going to a concert." So Tom asked Joe to go to the movies. But Joe's soccer team had a game. Next, Tom went down the hall to Brad's room. Brad was reading a very large old book. "Hi, Brad," Tom said. "Are you reading a dictionary? It looks ancient." "No, this is called The Wealth of Adams County. It's about hidden gold in Adams County." It's more than a century old. It was published in 1870. Look, it even has the original cover on it. Tom asked, "Where did you get it?" "It's from my dad's friend. He is a nice gentleman, an officer in the army," answered Brad. "The gold doesn't really exist, does it?" Tom asked. "I don't know, but maybe. There are clues to it in this book. Let's find it." Looking for gold sounded like fun. The first clue was to find a flat tree underground. "It must be in the forest," Tom said. Brad said, "The flat tree could be a board under the dirt. It could cover the gold." Tom and Brad dug in the dirt all morning. The process of looking for gold made them hungry. They were ready to stop for lunch. But then Brad hit something hard. It was a board. Brad pounded on the board until it broke. There was a small hole under it. "Look!" He held up a gold coin. Tom saw a piece of paper in the hole. "Brad, there's more. It's a map to the rest of the gold." Brad smiled. "Let's go." And they hurried to find the wealth of Adams County. Unit 17. Word list. Appreciate. To appreciate something is to understand its good qualities.
I can appreciate the lovely scenery.
Available. If something is available, it means you can get it.
There were many seats available in the room.
Beat. To beat someone means to do better than they do.
I managed to beat everyone in the race.
Bright. If something is bright, it shows a lot of light.
The bright light from the explosion hurt my eyes.
Celebrate. To celebrate is to do something to show that an event is special.
We all celebrated when we heard the great news.
Determine. To determine means to choose or make a decision.
He tried to determine which one to eat first.
Disappear. To disappear means to go away or not be seen.
The top of the building is disappearing in the clouds.
Else. If you talk about something else, you talk about something different.
I wanted a bike for my birthday, but I got something else.
Fair. Fair describes treating someone in a way that is reasonable or right.
He sold me his car for a fair price.
Flow. To flow is to move easily and continuously in one direction.
The water flowed over the rocks and into the lake.
Forward. If you move forward, you move in the direction in front of you.
When he saw his mother, the baby crawled forward to her.
Hill. A hill is a round area of land. It is higher than the land around it.
The sun was rising above the green hills.
Level. A level is a point on a scale that measures something.
Please check the level of the temperature.
Lone. If someone or something is lone, they are the only one of that kind.
A lone man walked along the street.
Puddle. A puddle is a pool of liquid on the ground.
When the ice melted, it formed a puddle.
Response. A response is the answer to a question.
He asked if I was sad. My response was no.
Season. A season is a time of the year. Spring, summer, fall, or winter.
Fall is a warm season, while winter is very cold.
Solution. A solution is a way to solve a problem.
There are many problems. We need solutions.
Waste. To waste means to carelessly use something all up.
Turn off the water so you don't waste it.
Weather. You use whether when you must choose between two things.
I could not decide whether to go left or right. The race for water. There was a town next to a river. The people there had a lot of water, but they wasted it. That made the sky angry. It said, "If you waste water, I will take it away from you." But the people didn't listen. When the season changed from spring to summer, the clouds disappeared. The bright sun was hot and made the river dry. There was no water available. People asked, "When will the rain fall?" The sky's response was, "You don't appreciate water. You waste it, and now I will never make rain again." A boy determined that this wasn't fair. He thought of a solution. He asked the sky to race him. He said, "If I get to the top of that hill before your rain can form puddles, you must fill our river." The sky laughed. "Little boy, I am the sky. I am above everything else. You cannot beat me." But the boy knew he would win. When the race began, the boy ran forward. The sky started raining on the hill, but puddles did not form there. When it rained on the hill, the water went down. The sky kept raining. The water flowed down into the river. When the boy reached the top of the hill, the river was full. The people began to celebrate. It was the highest level the river had ever been at before. The sky was angry. "A boy can't beat me. I won't fill your river," it said. Now the boy laughed. "It doesn't matter whether you want to fill it or not," he said. "You already did." The sky looked at the full river. "You tricked me," it said. It asked the people, "Do you appreciate water now?" "Yes," they said. "We won't waste it." That is how a lone boy saved his town and won the race for water.
Unit 18. Word list. Argue. To argue is to angrily speak to someone because you do not agree.
We argued about where to go for dinner.
Communicate. To communicate is to give information by talking, writing, etc.
I communicated with Paul about his new ideas.
Crowd. A crowd is a large group of people.
A large crowd had gathered on the street to see the accident.
Depend. To depend on someone or something is to need them.
Children depend on their parents for many things.
Dish. A dish is a plate.
She put a clean white dish on the table.
Empty. If something is empty, it does not have anything in it.
My gas tank was almost empty, so I couldn't drive my car very long.
Exact. If something is exact, it is just the right amount.
Please use the exact amount of sugar for the cake.
Fresh. If something is fresh, it is new.
I just bought these oranges. They are very fresh.
Gather. To gather is to collect several things, usually from different places.
Sam gathered some flowers for his mother.
Indicate. To indicate means to show, point, or make something clear.
He pointed to his eyes to indicate where he had hurt himself.
Item. An item is a thing that you buy or sell.
I have many items for school in my bag.
Offer. To offer is to present someone with something.
He offered me the keys to his car.
Price. The price of something is how much it costs.
What is the price of this item?
Product. A product is something that is made.
My sister has many beauty products in her room.
Property. Property is something that someone owns.
The house is now my property.
Purchase. To purchase something is to buy it.
I recently purchased a new car.
Recommend. To recommend something is to say that someone should do it.
My doctor recommended that I get some exercise.
Select. To select something is to choose it.
I hope that I selected the right answers on the test.
Tool. A tool is something that helps you do a task.
We used a tool to fix the window.
Treat. To treat is to act in a certain way toward someone.
The cats treated the mouse very nicely.
The Little Red Chicken. A little red chicken had a store in a small town. She sold many different items to people in the town. The people loved her products. One day, a cat came to her property. He saw the sign that indicated where the chicken store was located. He wanted to purchase bread, but the chicken store was almost empty. She had only a bag of wheat. "You can use the wheat to make bread," the chicken said. "No, I don't want to work," the cat said. "I just want to buy bread." The cat became angry and left the store. Later, the little red chicken saw the cat in a crowd. "I will help you make the bread," she said. But the cat treated her badly. He did not even communicate with her. He did not want to do any work, so the chicken decided to make the bread. She selected the exact amount of wheat to make fresh bread. She used a stone to pound the wheat to get it ready. Soon, her bread was ready. The cat came and saw the bread on a dish. "Give me some of your bread," he said. "No," said the little red chicken. "You did not help me make the bread, so you shall not have any to eat." The cat argued with the chicken. He tried to offer a price for it, but the little red chicken did not want to sell her bread. "Don't depend on others to do work for you," said the little red chicken. "Then how will I get bread?" the cat asked. "I recommend doing some work," said the little red chicken. "Use a tool to plant your own wheat. When it grows big, you can gather it and make your own bread. You need to learn to do work for what you want." Unit 19. Word list. Alive. If someone or something is alive, they are not dead.
My grandparents are still alive, even though they are over 90.
Bone. A bone is a hard part of the body.
I brought home a nice bone for my dog.
Bother. To bother is to make the effort to do something.
No one bothered to wash the dishes today.
Captain. A captain is the person who leads a ship or airplane.
The captain sailed his ship to Australia.
Conclusion. The conclusion of something is the final part of it.
At the conclusion of the race, the spectators cheered for the winner.
Doubt. Doubt is a feeling of not being sure.
I have doubt that the story is true.
Explore. To explore is to look for new places.
He wants to explore the world and see new things.
Foreign. If something is foreign, it is from a different country.
Mexican food is a popular foreign food.
Glad. If you are glad, you are happy.
I am glad you came to my party.
However. However means despite or not being influenced by something.
She is a great cook. However, she never had professional lessons.
Injustice. Injustice is a lack of fairness or justice.
Putting an innocent person in jail is an act of injustice.
International. If something is international, it involves more than one country.
The United Nations is a powerful international organization.
Lawyer. A lawyer works with the law and represents people in court.
The lawyer left the courthouse after the judge made her decision.
Mention. To mention something is to talk about it.
The doctors mentioned the problems that the patient was having.
Policy. A policy is a rule.
He told us that his policy was to put customers first.
Social. If something is social, it is about many people in a community.
People should come together and fix the world's social problems.
Speech. A speech is something said to a group of people.
She gave a speech to the class.
Staff. A staff is a group of people working together in a company.
My dad has a staff of 4 people to help him at the office.
Toward. If you go toward something, you go closer to it.
Santa walked toward my house with a special tree.
Wood. Wood is the thing that trees are made of.
I put the pieces of wood in a pile. Shipwrecked. Simon Yates was a lawyer. He helped many people. However, he was not a nice man. His policy was to help only rich people. He didn't bother about social injustice. He made a lot of money, but many people didn't like him. Even people on his staff didn't like him. They wanted bad things to happen to him. In fact, they were glad when he got into trouble. Simon had a very bad day. He did many things wrong and lost his job. Soon, he didn't have any money. His wife, Mrs. Yates, began to have doubts about him. Simon wanted to start a new life. He planned to leave the country. He mentioned his plan to the captain of a ship. The captain was exploring the world. The captain felt bad for Simon and said, "I will take you to foreign countries." They left the next day. Near the conclusion of their international trip, the weather turned bad. A wave pushed Simon off the boat, but he was alive. He swam toward an island. After a long time, he got there. At first, he was upset. He was lost and alone. "I'll never go home again," he thought. He had a lot of problems, but he survived. He built a house in a tree. He lived on a diet of fish. He made tools from wood and bones. He made a cup to drink rainwater. Slowly, he learned to be happy on the island. He swam every day. He had trouble sometimes, but he always found a way to fix the problem. Life was simple. He liked it. Finally, people on a ship saw Simon on the island. They wanted to take him home. But Simon was happy. He gave them a long speech about life. He said he wanted to stay. He liked his new simple life more than his old life.
Unit 20. Word list. Achieve. To achieve something is to successfully do it after trying hard.
I was happy that I could achieve my goal.
Advise. To advise someone is to tell them what to do.
My mother often advises people about their money.
Already. If something happens already, it happens before a certain time.
It is already time for the movie to start. Let's go in.
Basic. If something is basic, it is very simple or easy.
I learned some basic English skills in school today.
Bit. A bit is a small amount of something.
I ate a bit of chocolate before I went to bed.
Consider. To consider something means to think about it.
Pete didn't like his job. He considered getting a new one.
Destroy. To destroy means to damage something so badly that it cannot be used.
The glass was destroyed.
Entertain. To entertain someone is to do something that they enjoy.
The clown entertained the kids at the party.
Extra. If something is extra, it is more than what is needed.
The squirrel had extra nuts for the winter.
Goal. A goal is something you work toward.
Her goal was to become a doctor.
Lie. To lie is to say or write something untrue to deceive someone.
Whenever Pinocchio lied to his father, his nose grew.
Meat. Meat is food made of animals.
This piece of meat I'm eating tastes very good.
Opinion. An opinion is a thought about a person or a thing.
Meg told me her opinion of my story. She said it was not funny.
Real. If something is real, it actually exists.
The handbag has a stamp on it, so it's real.
Reflect. To reflect is when a surface sends back light, heat, sound, or an image.
Her face was reflected on the smooth glass.
Regard. To regard someone or something is to think of them in a certain way.
The boy regarded the girl as a good friend.
Serve. To serve someone is to give them food or drinks.
He served us our drinks quickly.
Vegetable. A vegetable is a plant used as food.
Carrots are my favorite vegetable.
War. A war is a big fight between two groups of people.
Many young men died in the war.
Worth. If something is worth an amount of money, it costs that amount.
Our house is worth a lot of money.
The 7 Cities of Gold. Many years ago, a Spanish officer named Coronado heard the story of 7 great cities. The walls of these cities are made of gold, his friends told him. The people eat meat from golden plates and dress in nice clothes, they said. They called these cities the 7 Cities of Gold. Were the cities real? Coronado never considered asking his friends. Coronado thought to himself, the things in these cities must be worth a lot of money. So he went to find the 7 Cities of Gold. He took along 300 men, many horses, and extra food. They headed west. Coronado wanted to achieve his goal very badly. Coronado and his men rode for many days. Then they saw some cities. "We found the 7 Cities of Gold!" his men yelled. But Coronado wasn't happy. He had a different opinion. "These can't be the 7 Cities of Gold," he said. "Look, they're made of dirt." Coronado was right. The cities weren't bright and golden. They were dirty and brown. The people didn't eat meat from golden plates. They ate vegetables from regular bowls. They wore the most basic clothes. Coronado regarded the cities as ugly places. What happened to the cities of gold? He thought. Did someone destroy them? Was there a war? Did someone already come and take the gold? That night, the people of the cities entertained Coronado and his men and served them food. They advised Coronado to go home. "There is no gold here," they told him. Coronado was angry. Did his friends lie to him? He left the next morning. He looked back at the cities one more time. The sun reflected light on the dirt houses. Coronado thought he saw a bit of gold. Were his friends right after all? No, he told himself. It's just the sun. Then he turned away and went home. Unit 21. Word list. Appear. To appear is to seem.
She appeared to be sad. She was crying.
Base. The base is the bottom of something?
The base of the table has 3 legs.
Brain. The brain is the organ in your head that lets you think.
You must use your brain to solve the problem.
Career. A career is a job that you do for a large part of your life.
He was in the hospitality business for most of his career.
Clerk. A clerk is a type of worker. Clerks in a store help customers.
The clerk added up her bill for the groceries.
Effort. Effort is hard work or an attempt to do something.
He always puts a lot of effort into his studies.
Enter. To enter a place is to go into it.
2 guards greeted me as I entered the front door.
Excellent. When something is excellent, it is very good.
I got an excellent score on my school test.
Hero. A hero is a brave person who does things to help others.
To children, the man in the blue and red costume was a real hero.
Hurry. To hurry is to do something quickly.
I hurried home on my bike.
Inform. To inform someone is to tell them about something.
I called and informed her about my idea.
Later. Later means after the present, expected or usual time.
She missed the train, so she'll arrive a little later than expected.
Leave. To leave means to go away from someone or something.
He packed his bag and was ready to leave for home.
Locate. To locate something is to find it.
I could not locate my keys in the house.
Nurse. A nurse is a person who helps sick people in the hospital.
A nurse helped me get better.
Operation. An operation is when a doctor replaces or removes something in the body.
The operation on my arm was a success.
Pain. Pain is the feeling that you have when you are hurt.
His head was full of pain.
Refuse. To refuse something is to say no to it.
The dog refused to play with the cat.
Though. Though is used when the second idea makes the first seem surprising.
Though he was overweight, he liked to be active.
Various. If something is various, there are many types of it.
She owned shoes of various styles. Katie. I first met 8-year-old Katie on a rainy afternoon. I was a nurse at a hospital. The clerk at the desk told me about Katie. She was there because she felt a lot of pain. The doctors located a problem at the base of her brain. I knew she was special even before she got better. I'll always remember Katie as a hero. When I entered Katie's room, she was not in her bed. She was in a chair next to Tommy, a little boy. Though Katie did not feel well, she was playing with Tommy and his toys. It took a lot of effort for her just to sit in the chair, but she played with Tommy because it made him happy. Katie was always smiling and never appeared to be in pain. She refused to just lie in bed. One day, I found her painting a picture. Later, she gave it to one of the older patients. Another day, she went outside to get flowers for another sick little girl. Katie made everyone smile. The doctors hurried to fix the problem in Katie's brain. The operation was successful. The doctors informed the hospital staff of the good news. Katie was fine. She soon felt excellent. She got better and was able to leave the hospital a month later. I have had a long career as a nurse. I have met many patients. However, I have never met another girl like Katie. Even after she got well, she still came to the hospital. She played various games with the young patients. She read many books to the older patients. Katie's kind heart helped her get better so quickly. She is a hero to me and everyone else at the hospital.